It's no secret that Florida has become the #1 spot for theme parks in the world. Between Legoland, Universal, Disney, Busch Gardens, and SeaWorld, Florida has quickly climbed the ranks and become the #1 visited spot for theme parks in the world. Today, I will be ranking every single park in Florida. This is not including the water parks or fun spots. Keep in mind, this is all my opinion, so let's get started. Alright, at number 10, we have Legoland Florida. Now, Legoland is a very fun family park. The reason why it's at number 10 is just strictly due to experiences I had at this park. Look, it's not a bad park. I think it's really charming and fun. There's a lot of things for kids to do there. I just don't think it's a really good teen/adult park. Unfortunately, a big problem with Legoland Florida is there's not a lot of rides at the park. The #1 thing that attracts guests to theme parks is the rides that the theme parks have. Unfortunately, this is where Legoland Florida kind of doesn't do well. I mean, there are some really good rides. I can think of the Galacticoaster, the new roller coaster that they just built in Legoland Florida. That actually went to all the Legolands. Despite the Lego brand being a global icon, there's only so many things that they can do while turning Legos into rides. I think the Galacticoaster, though, is a really good example of how they can really expand this park. Instead of taking the company at face value, they can really invest into what Lego represents, which is all these different worlds and things that they have, like Lego Star Wars, Avengers, Harry Potter. They have a lot of stuff. There probably is some licensing issues when it comes to expanding these IPs into theme parks, though, and that's probably the reason why Lego has strictly only used Lego-based franchises. That's probably the main reason why you won't see a Lego Star Wars ride or a Lego Avengers ride, is because companies like Disney or Universal already own these franchises and have already placed them into their parks. Legoland as a whole, I think, is a pretty good family park. I just don't see it as one of the biggest things in Orlando. Like, you won't go visit Florida or visit Orlando just to go to Legoland. Obviously, you're going to want to go to Universal or Disney instead. Another aspect of Legoland Florida is the Peppa Pig theme park. The park is very, very small. It's a tiny family park that's kind of a sidekick to Legoland Florida. I think there's tickets that you can get to Legoland, plus you can add on this Peppa Pig theme park. It's very small, it's nice, it's charming, but it's not up there with the big dogs. At number 9, we have Busch Gardens Tampa. Now, this is going to turn some heads. It's pretty wild that I would place Busch Gardens Tampa at number 9. But after Legoland, we kind of really rank up the theme parks on how good they are. I think Busch Gardens Tampa is an incredible park. I love their animal experiences. All of their roller coasters are actually really good. The experience that I had when going to Busch Gardens Tampa was... it was iffy. On one hand, as a coaster enthusiast, I absolutely adore Busch Gardens. I love all of their roller coasters. Even my favorite roller coaster I've ever been on, Iron Gwazi, is at this park. I think that the park as a whole is pretty good, but despite having some world-class roller coasters, Busch Gardens still has a long list of problems. The park is in desperate need of refurbishment. There is a lot of areas of the park that feel really run down, old. Especially in the Egypt section, it kind of looks like it's very old, run down. Like a really old carnival or amusement park. And this is really the last thing you want to see when going to Busch Gardens. It's supposed to be this lush forest, tropical, with, the Egyptian section is not supposed to look like it's super old, rusty, rundown. The bright side about this whole thing is I think these problems have a really easy fix to them. I think a park refurbishment could do really well. The Egypt section is in desperate need of a refurbishment. A lot of those rides, like Cobra's Curse, the audio system is old, the pre-show doesn't work. The park as a whole just feels really run down, and I don't think the employees working there are really into it either. The last time I went, there was a locker issue, and I was asking an employee for help. And I don't want to sound like a terrible, annoying theme park goer who just hates everyone, but this dude just completely walked away after I asked him for help. But I don't blame him. Working at Busch Gardens probably not the best job to have. I'm sure many of these employees would rather work at a bigger park such as Disney or Universal. But Busch Gardens as a whole just feels old, run down. It needs some help. The roller coasters are good. Don't get me wrong about that. I also love the animal experiences at this park. They have plenty of those. The safari is actually really pleasant. The park as a whole just needs some help. At number 8, we have SeaWorld Orlando. Now, SeaWorld Orlando is one of my favorite parks for roller coasters. Mako is one of the best rides I've ever been on, without a doubt. It's super good, smooth, long layout. I love it. if we're talking about strictly Orlando, if you want to go on a roller coaster, this is the park you're going to. SeaWorld has a ton of roller coasters. The reason why it's placed above Busch Gardens is I think the park is run a lot better. Now, I know all the fiascos going on with the Orca show and that whole thing that happened back during COVID. To a lot of people, SeaWorld Orlando was never able to recover from those issues, but I think that they've put a ton of love into the park to try to make it recover, and I think this as a whole has brought SeaWorld up into making it one of the best, most charming parks I've ever been to. I mean, between adding Pipeline and adding Penguin Trek, they have built some of the best roller coasters, they've added family attractions, and the shows at SeaWorld are next level. Plus, the park as a whole just feels really bright. It's placed in a gray area of Orlando, and you can definitely tell that they've poured a lot more into this park than in Busch Gardens. I mean, Busch Gardens is right next to a university. I mean, it's in like a plaza. It just doesn't feel good. The entrance to Busch Gardens is, honestly, it's a lot worse than SeaWorld. Now, SeaWorld is not flawless. There's a lot of things that SeaWorld does need help with. I think that they need to add a bit more variety to their rides. This is another problem that I forgot to mention with Busch Gardens, is both of these parks just need something new. I know that's mostly about the shows, but SeaWorld could use another dark ride besides Expedition Odyssey. Coming in at number 7, we have Epcot. Now, before you click off the video, look, hear me out. Epcot is one of Disney's best. The reason why I placed it at number 7, when it comes to rides, the park doesn't really have a ton to offer. I think the whole World Showcase idea is one of the best ideas Disney's ever come up with. I love the whole futuristic vibe, and if I'm being honest, I would love for Tomorrowland. I know it was Walt Disney's original idea, but I would love for Tomorrowland to have that more sleek futuristic vibe that Epcot has. I mean, Epcot does this so well. I love the food at Epcot. I mean, it's so good. They have all the different countries represented. I mean, it's just amazing. But the park is not without flaw. I think that it's kind of become a little bit infected with these different IPs like Frozen and Ratatouille. And I know they're trying to place these IPs within the park, but I feel like they just don't fit in well with Epcot. I mean, this park is not meant to have these movie-based rides within here. People are going to Epcot more so for the experience around the park. In addition to the experience, Epcot is also home to arguably one of the best Disney rides ever built, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. The only reason why it's placed so low is simply because I don't remember having the best experiences at Epcot. Compared to other Disney parks, it's not going to blow your mind. Number 6 is Universal Studios Florida. This is how you properly do a studio-based park. Now, I know that I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments for placing this above Epcot, but if I'm being honest, I remember having some of the best experiences at Universal Studios. The theming is out of this world. I think Diagon Alley is hands down the best wizarding world, and this park does have a lot of problems, though. If I'm being honest, I think Epcot and this park are on the same level when it comes to what the problems they're dealing with. The attendance for Epcot, along with Universal Studios, is always pretty low, and this is just strictly due to Universal Studios and Epcot. They haven't met really the fans' demands for what a theme park should be. Universal Studios is hopefully going to get some help with the new roller coaster that's coming in. Hopefully, they're going to get rid of the many problems that they have, which honestly, these fixes are really simple. They can close Fast and Furious Supercharged. They can get rid of the screen rides. I mean, there's too many screen rides at Universal Studios. Despite the screen ride dilemma, I think this park is super fun and they have a ton of stuff to do. The reason why I'm going to place Universal Studios above Epcot, unfortunately, is because of Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. Now, I know that people will argue that Cosmic Rewind is better than this ride, but I feel like Cosmic Rewind is really out of place at Epcot. It doesn't belong there. The Fast and Furious roller coaster will fit Universal Studios Florida super well, and I think will improve the park a lot. I feel like this is just one step in the right direction that Universal's doing to improve this park. Now, Magic Kingdom is one of the most, if not the most iconic Walt Disney World park. But being the most iconic Disney park can cause a lot of problems. The park is constantly very, very crowded. Along with this, tickets are always rising to get into this park due to the sheer demand to get in. And most people are not demanding to get in this park just to ride a ride like Pirates of the Caribbean because they'll think it'll be a great ride. No, people are getting here just for the novelty of going to Walt Disney World and going to Magic Kingdom. That's not to say that Magic Kingdom is a bad park. By all means, no. The park is very good. There's tons of different lands, tons of rides, but I feel like the quantity a lot of times outweighs the quality of the rides. Most of these rides are really old. They were the original visions of Walt Disney himself, and a lot of the rides just don't stack up to when it comes to the newer parks around Orlando like Epic Universe. The only problem with adding something new, it'll really take away from the nostalgia factor that Magic Kingdom has with so many Disney adults. Nostalgia is one of the biggest reasons why Magic Kingdom is one of the most visited parks on the planet. If Magic Kingdom ever wanted to add something new, they would have to reach out to a new IP that original Disney fans aren't familiar with. This is one of the biggest problems that Magic Kingdom has, and unfortunately, fixing this problem may cause Disney to lose some of its original fan base. These are just some of the reasons why Magic Kingdom is placed lower than other Disney parks that can really expand their territory. Coming in at number 4, we have one of my all-time favorite Disney parks. Animal Kingdom is hands down the best looking Disney park. I know Epcot looks really good with its whole flower thing and World Showcase, but strictly based on park looks, Animal Kingdom is stellar at this. Between Pandora, the world of Avatar, all the different tropical themed lands, it's all themed super well. I will say there is one downside to that, which is Dino Land USA. I know this land is going away very soon. Sadly, with the dinosaur ride, I really like this ride. But that whole land did not look that good. It kind of looked like a parking lot, to be honest. That was one major flaw of the park, but it's going away. Now, I know that many people will argue that Animal Kingdom does not have that many rides, and that was my argument against Epcot and Epcot not being that good, but Epcot was not on the same level as theming as Animal Kingdom has. That's right, where it lacks in rides, Animal Kingdom makes up 100% with the theming. The theming of Pandora, the world of Avatar, is actually next level with the floating islands. Plus, for the few rides that Animal Kingdom does have, I think all of them are actually really good. Expedition Everest is an iconic Disney roller coaster. It's got the backwards drop, the Yeti. It's very good. Both Avatar rides, Navi River Journey and Flight of Passage, are really good. Flight of Passage in particular is one of the best flying theater rides out there. Animal Kingdom is also home to the Safari, which is super fun. Animal Kingdom as a whole is just really well themed, and I think they pull off an animal themed park actually really good. I do think that there's a couple rides in Magic Kingdom that might be better off in this land. Like the Jungle Cruise, I think that would fit really well in Animal Kingdom. I'm also praying that Disney will one day make a Lion King ride. It's one of their most iconic animated films. Why not make it into a ride? You know, it would be really good. And it would fit incredibly well in this park. Now we're down to the top 3. At number 3, it is Hollywood Studios. Along with being my personal favorite Disney park, I think this park really excels at ride quality. Every single ride in Hollywood Studios is really good. I know that the Star Wars land Galaxy's Edge is a controversial topic, but really when you just look at it face value and when it comes to its theming, it is really next level. I would definitely say that Galaxy's Edge is definitely on par with the level of theming when it comes to Universal's Wizarding World. Rise of the Resistance alone is a spectacle. It's one of Disney's best rides they've ever built, hands down. Plus, Smuggler's Run is a super fun filler ride, and I love that you get to fly in the Millennium Falcon. Like, finally, a Star Wars ride exists. Although I wish it was themed to the older Star Wars movies and not to the new ones, which are not the best. Besides Galaxy's Edge, the park is also home to many other really great rides. Tower of Terror is super iconic. It's a Disney favorite. Plus Mickey and Minnie, Toy Story Land, and Rock and Roller Coaster. I know there's some big changes coming to the park soon, but this park definitely earns the number 3 spot. Here we go. Coming in at number 2, it is Epic Universe. Now, many may argue that this is the best park in Florida, and I have to admit, this park is one of the best theme parks on the earth. Hands down, Epic Universe is incredible. From groundbreaking attractions to some of the best theming I've ever seen. Plus, the park itself really balances out what Universal represents nowadays. One of Universal's biggest issues in its early days of opening was the fact that there wasn't a lot of stuff to do for kids. Epic Universe is a great addition to Universal, not only because it adds a whole nother level of depth to their parks as a whole, but it also adds more balance, especially when it comes to reaching out to a younger audience. Epic Universe is the first park in a quarter of a century to come to Florida, and I remember the first time I went to Epic, opening month, May. It was an incredible experience. One of my favorite parks, hands down. And here we are, finally at number 1, Islands of Adventure. Islands is, in my opinion, the best park in Florida. The park has so much variety within it, and no one can talk me out of it. Velocicoaster is one of the greatest roller coasters ever built. I love Velocicoaster. Islands has one of Universal's greatest dark rides, probably actually their #1 dark ride, which is Spider-Man. This was the first park to have the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in it, and that land is really what set the standard for themed lands from there on out. On top of all of this, the biggest franchise on the globe, the MCU, is at this park, and it is done better than any other park. Disneyland California does Marvel terrible, I'm gonna be honest. So with all of that being said, it really paints a clear picture of why Islands of Adventure is the best theme park in Florida. They do everything so well, and I think Universal's really set the standard for what theme parks should be with this park. Anyway, obviously this is my own opinion. I'm sure opinions will differ widely in the comments, but make sure you guys subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time.